Good evening, everyone. I'm Pooja elangbam. I'm currently serving as Assistant Commissioner, Imphal West in Manipur, Kada. I'm a 2018 IAS, 2018 batch IAS officer, and I will be sharing a few of my thoughts and opinions. And basically, I'll tell you how to study without coaching. Firstly, this is for beginners, and I will be speaking in English because I'm more fluent in it. And this is something I want to do. I want to give back from what I have learned and all the mistakes I've made. And and the thing is, I'll keep it short, I'll keep it brief because I don't want to bore you, and also because I have a lot of work tomorrow. Even though it's a Sunday, we are launching the electoral roll verification. So I have to go early in the morning, even on a Sunday. So I will be starting and I'll be keeping it brief. I will answer some of the queries I have got on Instagram. And first of all, I want to talk a little bit about motivation. So how do you motivate yourself for UPSC and how to prepare without coaching? First of all, you need to ask yourself why you want to give this exam. Is this the career you really want? Because please don't do it because your parents are forcing you or because all your friends are doing it. First, actually, if you think you want to give this exam, then I suggest you first read up about it. What is the history of administration in India? What are the good works civil servants have done? What are the drawbacks? What are the pros and cons? Because it's really important to know that before you give this exam. I mean, without enough motivation, you cannot give this exam. Hello, am I audible? Okay, I hope I am audible. I'll just check again. Yes. So if you really want to crack this exam, you need the motivation, and you need to do it with your heart, mind and soul. You need to believe in the possibilities of what the service offers. So do not do it half-heartedly. First, find out what really you want to do. And motivation can start from various sources. It can start from the place you live, whether you come from a city or whether you come from a village. It's very important that you see the world around you. You see the problems which are there in your home, you see the problems there in your city or village or town, and it is really important you start from that because that will be helpful in your study as well. And ultimately, if you do get selected, it will help you in your administration. And you also need to know what you're most passionate about, what are your hobbies, what are your interests, because these are how you will be solving your problems. These are the ones which you will take up ultimately, and this will also help you in your answering questions in your interviews. So you need to keep all this in mind. You also need to know how you want to change the lives of people around you. I'm not just saying this in terms of motivation, but this also will be very helpful in writing your answers, and especially in mains and interview. So you need to keep all this in mind. Motivation also needs to come from yourself. You need to know all the things that you really want to do when you get into service, and you need to know your strengths, you need to know your weaknesses, you need to know your prejudices. I just want to share a very personal thing. I see a lot of people who write beautiful answers for the UPSC examination. They talk about women empowerment, they talk about how to eradicate caste, but at the same time, once they get through service, they perpetuate the same prejudices. So I feel there is no point in actually studying all this if you do not really believe in it and if you do not really implement it when you go and become an administrator. So I hope that whatever you study for UPSC, you actually are able to implement it in your life. You are able to apply it to yourself and to the world around you. Okay, so I'll start with what all you need to keep in mind when you start, and I want to keep this mainly for beginners. The UPSC is a very fast syllabus, so you need to study quite a lot, and people ask me how many hours do you study. I think during preparation you can study from 6-7 hours, but maybe longer if that is required. I don't think the number of hours matter. I think you need to know about how much topic you're covering, and that's why I think you have to constantly keep checking the syllabus. Please keep checking the syllabus, because that is how you know how much you have covered, and that is why please keep referring to it. Also, I just want to say that please do not sacrifice your mental and physical health while you are studying for this exam. You need to be mentally very strong. And I know there might be failures, there might be mistakes, but you have to keep going, and you have to believe in yourself, and you have to believe that you can make it. For current affairs, please read newspapers. You do not need to read back to back. Just read the front page and read the editorial. And I think for me, I studied international relations, so I used to also, and I gave my optional for PSIR, so I used to cover the international news as well, very well. And also, you do not need to keep making notes on every day, every newspaper. I suggest you read those current affairs which comes monthly. So read up on it monthly, the monthly one compilation, say by Vision IAS or IAS Baba or Insights India or Drishti. So for me, this was really helpful. You don't need to read so many. I think you can do maybe two or three of them, and keep reading newspapers. When you are studying all these, I know it's very difficult to memorize so many things. That's why I feel that you personally need to take an interest in the issues of the world. If you are studying about terrorism, you have to really see how it can affect the lives of yourself and about the people around you. If you're just studying for the sake of it, then it really doesn't matter. If you're studying about poverty, think about how it affects the life of the people around you, and how poverty cripples people, and how once poverty is not just in terms of not getting enough food, but also in terms of opportunities, in terms of socio-economic backwardness, think in terms of caste, think in terms of staying in very marginal places where you do not have access to health or education. So all this is really necessary when you are preparing for the exam. You need to open yourself up to the world at the local level, at the national level, and the international level. And you need to keep reading up on it. Think of it as something you are doing, not just in terms of studying, but also in terms of personality development. And that will help you a lot. For those people who, I personally did not go for coaching, but I feel that if you're completely clueless about it, then you might give coaching a try. If you study, if you stay in a place where there's not many coaching institutes, then I think you can still prepare for the exam. You do not necessarily need to go to Delhi or Chandigarh or Lucknow or any of these metropolitan cities to be able to crack the UPSC exam. If you cannot afford coaching, I think it is completely alright. You can still manage it. I know a lot of people who have managed it. When I started my preparation, I was clueless. I had no idea how to start. I knew a few people who were preparing, so I used to ask them, and you can also do the same. I had no idea about Instagram and all this UPSC guide. Completely, I studied completely from the internet, and I used to do a lot of hit and trial. I used to go research on toppers, blogs. I used to read about the basic books. I mean, just to start with, basic books, NCRTs is, I think, very important. I used to read class 9, 10, 11 NCRTs of all subjects. And that is how you start. If you have your basics right, and if your concepts are clear, then I think it's really easy to progress. For example, history, NCRT, the old NCRT, medieval, ancient, and modern. I think once you read it, if you're not giving history optional, I think this is actually quite enough. And if you want to read more, you can read Bipin Chandra, you can read Spectrum. and that is quite enough. And then for polity, as everyone knows, you have to read Lakshmikant and also NCRT. And for economics, read NCRT again, as well as Ramesh Singh. But also, I think you need to keep economics and politics. I think you need to keep updating yourself with current affairs. To read the concepts. I think you can read NCRT as well as Ramesh Singh or Lakshmikant, but you need to keep updating yourself about all the new constitutional amendments. You need to keep abreast about all Supreme Court judgments taking place, such as the right to privacy, and so many different things are taking place. So you need to keep reading the newspapers, and you need to keep reading current affairs. And for math, so I personally come from a humanities background, and even I used to be scared of math. But the thing is that the best part is that it's not very difficult. I think if you have studied math till class 10th, it's quite easy, and you need to practice a lot. That is very important. You have to keep practicing, especially for CSAT and especially for GS. Keep giving a lot of mock papers. There are so many mock papers you can give. You can give it online as well as you can order them. So sometimes, even though I didn't do coaching, I used to go to Delhi once a year during my preparation, and I used to go to Rajendra Nagar, and there are so many shops. So you go there and you check out, you see, so even the shopkeepers will help you pick out these books, and you can get a whole guide from them. I used to pick up like 20 kg, books and just go home with it. So you get all sorts of, mock papers. Get it from all the coaching academies, and I think that's the best part about studying on your own, because that means you can mix and match, and you can develop your own style of learning. You can develop your own style of doing things, because I believe that not everyone has the same way of studying, and you have to learn it. But you can also always take help from others. You can always learn from others. So I would take all these mock papers and do it. A lot of people think that you have to finish the syllabus to start doing these mock papers. I don't think that's necessary. I think you can just start once you have covered, once you've started studying for UPSC for 2-3 months, I think you should start. Because you shouldn't keep waiting because the syllabus never ends. Believe me, UPSC syllabus is so vast that you cannot you cannot say that I have finished the syllabus. So if you keep waiting to finish the syllabus, then it's not going to help you. You have to start. And a lot of people tell me that, oh, I'm scared to start preparing, or, what to do, how do I motivate yourself? You start, and then ultimately, on its own, the motivation will come. You cannot wait till it gets over. So